Just got the notification.
Come on. Please don't fuck up. Come on. Don't tell me my internet is going down. Not now.
Are we live? Because it's telling me we're live.
Oh, here we are. Alright, now we're live. Alrighty. Welcome back, everyone, to the Road to Halloween Kills live streams. I'm Zach Axiola. We got my buddy the Osnator on board, and we have a new recruit joining us, Aiden O'Neill. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good. What's up?
I'm doing very well.
Good. So, it's been a hot one the last couple of days. So,
Damn right.
we're going to twist things around a little bit today. Before we get started, I want to put out a little discussion today of the Halloween Kills trailer before we get into the review and kind of get everyone's thoughts on it. So, what did everyone think?
Do I be honest with you? I have not seen it yet because I do not want to get spoiled anything.
Understandable. I will admit, that's what everyone was saying, is that it was kind of a spoilerous trailer, but I gotta say, I dug the hell out of it. It was pure adrenaline every second, like every single second, and it just got me more pumped than I already am. Thoughts, Aiden?
I loved it too. Like I have to agree with you. It got me pumped too. Like seeing Michael Myers be badass like usual. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him that badass since. Well, it pains me to say it, but Halloween 6.
Phantom Zone? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it was a pretty good trailer, and I guess we said per Austin's wishes, we won't spoil anything about it, so that nothing's given away.
Zach, you don't remember the ending of Halloween 6 when Michael Myers was like killing all those doctors and going on a rampage?
Oh, hell no.
I remember that. We'll get to that divisive piece when we do. But for now, let's talk about Halloween 4 here with our first category, how or like when we first saw the film.
I first saw the movie again, like I said, for basically it's gonna be for every Halloween movie. I saw it in the Blu-ray box set. I actually saw Adam's review first because I watched all his Halloween reviews, and I ended up watching this in when I got the Blu-ray box set. Man, I'll tell you guys what I thought of it when we get to that portion of the review.
All right, Aiden.
I think I saw it online somewhere. Like it was like years ago, back when I was in middle school. I think I was marathoning the movies.
Sweet.
Thought the movie was awesome. I thought it was one of the best sequels I've ever seen of these movies.
Oh yeah. And as for me, like I said, when I got this box set, Halloween 3 was the only one where I had seen it the first time getting this box set. I have a bit of history with Halloween 4 as far as like I kind of grew up with it. It's kind of a sad thing though. I saw Halloween 5 first.
Oh.
because we only had certain Halloween movies on DVD at one point. Like, we had this big yard sale, and as you'd imagine, a lot of the good ones people bought. So I only had the original Halloween 2, the original one, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and Halloween 5. Those were the only Halloween movies we had.
Damn.
So yeah, I was still a bit older when I saw Halloween 4, but I still kind of grew up with it. I think I was around 14. But yeah, I gotta say, compared to Halloween 3 especially, this film holds up remarkably strong. I enjoyed it very much rewatching it last night. So with that being said, let's get into our overall positives for Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Well, I guess my first positive would be that, well, Michael's in it again, and it's actually back to form, of course. Donald Pleasance is great. I think this is probably his best performance as the character, probably besides the first two.
Mm-hmm.
The kills were great. They were creative, but they were still, they were exaggerated, but at the same time, they weren't, ridiculous type of thing.
No, because I'll say, by the time I'm getting into 5 and 6, the kills start getting pretty...
Yeah, and also I will say the chemistry between Rachel and Jamie were impeccable. I think that was probably one of my favorite chemistries in a horror film, because you can see their relationship as sisters, which I appreciate. I love, and again, just Jamie Lee Curtis, or no, not Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lloyd. What was that?
Danielle Harris.
Yeah, Danielle Harris. Jeez, why am I thinking of Dan? God damn it! All right, yeah.
They're both protagonists.
Yeah, she's a great protagonist. The girl who played Rachel was great. The acting again, great. The story is a good way to kind of continue it if you're not gonna have Jamie Lee Curtis there. Yeah. So it makes sense. It's a good continuation, and I will say, just from beginning to end, I felt the pacing of the movie was very well executed. And
yeah, especially considering the fact that not... Oh, was I interrupting you?
No, you can go ahead.
Especially considering the fact that 20 to 30 minutes of the movie had to be cut in order just to get an R rating.
Yeah.
20 minutes, you said?
Around 20 to 30 minutes apparently had to be cut. Unless I'm reading it wrong, but I read that somewhere. Not that it had a troubled production, but it's just, a lot had to be cut. So, anything else?
Yeah, I do like the way Michael comes back to life, even though it is kind of the guy died, but apparently if Loomis can survive with scars, I guess Michael can survive unscathed. And the way how he got his jumpsuit and his mask again, I thought that was creative. And I love the way how you see mentions of Laurie Strode, and you see how Jamie misses her, and the connection that she does end up having with Michael, I thought was good. But here's a but though. When we get to our negatives and our mixed thoughts, that's when we're gonna get into what my real thoughts on the movie are.
All right. So, Aiden, overall positives.
The acting was really good, above average for a horror film, especially from Danielle Harris.
I think this was her first movie, wasn't it?
That I'm not sure about, but it's probably one of her first movies. At least probably one of her first movies. Let's see. The atmosphere is great. It has the same atmosphere as the first movie, which is always an up for a Halloween movie or any slasher horror movie in general.
Mm-hmm.
The mask doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, Adam said this in his review, because the mask is so white, you can never once do you see Michael's eyes in the film, which does add a level of eeriness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Although the mask could look a little better. It's not the
Not
worst.
the same mask, maybe, but just slick up the hair a little bit.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
Let's see what else. What am I missing? Oh, the kills are great. Where he shoves a shotgun through Kelly's stomach. That was good.
I'm just gonna say this right now, Aiden.
What?
It wasn't her stomach. That's all I'm gonna say.
Then what? What?
That's all I'm gonna say. Michael didn't shove it through her stomach.
Oh, oh God.
That's all I'm gonna say. So,
Yes.
anything
Yes.
else?
That's it. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna tick off a lot of people on the chat because it's not my biggest positive, but one of my positives, my overall positives for the movie actually is the mask. Yes, I actually like this mask. I've always liked the mask. It's not that I never got the argument, but it's just for me, I like the way Michael looks in this movie. It's probably the most terrifying he's looked since the original, like at least at this point in the franchise. And I will say this: this is my biggest positive for the movie is the score. It helps.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah,
It helps.
that too.
It helps sell the atmosphere tenfold just in the opening alone. I like how it didn't conform to what Halloween fans want, as far as with the jack-o'-lantern opening, like in the other two. I mean, at the same, it's pandering to them. It's giving them what they want. Bringing Michael back, but at the same time, they're going bold with their choices again, like a new opening and a new kind of score that people hadn't seen in this franchise yet. So it's that perfect balance of it's like, all right, we got to give the fans what we want, but let's take this seriously. Like let's actually give them something to remember, not just something cheap thrown out like Halloween 5.
Yep.
And as per most of the movies, Loomis, as far as like characters, like Loomis is, I think he's the best he's ever been. Is in this movie. Not just the performance, but what the character, what they're going for with him. I love how noble he is in the movies. Like, if you want another victim, take me. So
Absolutely.
and I'm just gonna say this right now. Danielle Harris gives what has got to be the best performance I have ever seen from a child actor, or at least when she was a child.
I agree with that.
I will. Yeah.
There is not one moment where I did not buy her being scared or hurt by the bullies or just living her day-to-day life.
Yeah, she was.
I bought everything that she sold with her performance and with the intensity in which she was doing it.
Oh yeah, she was
Danielle
amazing.
Harris was terrific in this movie.
She was amazing.
Again, best performance I've ever seen from who was then a child actor. And another thing, this is like from my last positive. This is next to the original and the 2018 film. This is probably my favorite group of characters. With the people you like and the people you don't like, they all work really well off of each other. Not just with the acting, but with their dynamic. What they're going through with what's her name? Who stole the boyfriend? That chick. She has that one scene in the movie that's become a meme now. If you don't know, where she's like, "Fuck off, Wade." That's become a meme now.
Yep.
So just in general, like I said, again, one of my favorite groups of characters in the entire series is in this movie. Thoughts?
I mean, it might be up there, but I think I like. I don't know. That's actually, I have to really think about that.
Yeah. All right then. So anything else from you guys? The positives?
No, I'm gonna actually agree. I'm actually gonna add this because I didn't say it before, but it was the music. I actually agree. The music to me is like I think usually the usually good thing about these Halloween movies is the scores because they do give off an atmosphere, I think it's one of those things where you can't really fuck up in a Halloween film until they do.
Yeah, like I guess it's something I will say. Even with the as bad as some of these sequels get, and they get really bad, it's never a bad. It's never bad music.
No.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, our next category: favorite characters, scenes, and or kills.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna echo what I said. Favorite character, I'm gonna say again, it's Loomis. I think Loomis, to me, like I said before, is probably the best he's ever been. Should he even be alive? No, he shouldn't have. The fact that he only has a scar, to me, is bullshit. But, hey, it's whatever.
But just in general, it's like Donald Pleasance is always welcome in a Halloween movie.
Absolutely. And I love how through these films he's slowly becoming deranged because he's obsessed. Like you can see him like finally diving into this obsession with Michael. And I liked how and my favorite scene actually also has to do with Loomis, and that's in the gas station where Michael finally gets a jumpsuit and you see his face all bandaged up and Loomis is like, leave Haddonfield alone. Take me, Michael. Take me. And then he dives out of the way, even though he's using a cane, because the gas station exploded, which I thought that was badass. And favorite kill, Michael with the shotgun. I mean, the fact he doesn't shoot one of the characters, he actually uses the gun to just impale them.
That's the thing. Like Michael never actually shoots a gun, does he?
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was actually pretty creative and inventive. And I guess maybe him throwing the guy into the electrical plant, I was like, it was kind of silly now thinking about it, but I'm like, judging by how bad these sequels get, this is not a bad kill. It's silly, but it's not bad.
And it doesn't get ridiculous either.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to echo that as well. Loomis is probably my favorite character in the movie. What makes him so great for me in this movie is that he gives off the essence of someone who he gives off the essence of a broken man. Not necessarily that he's lost everything or that he has a tarnished reputation, but that he's just a broken man. But through all this, he never once loses the thing that he stands for as far as, protecting people from Michael, And for the fact that he's wanted to go so far as to die for people that don't even give a fuck about him, that shows you something.
True.
So, and in a way, it echoes what Laurie would eventually become in 2018, and that she's willing, she knows that she's gonna die, that she'll probably die taking on this motherfucker, but it doesn't matter to her.
Exactly.
So, Aiden.
Favorite.
Oh, by the way, yeah. I was gonna say real quick. Shotgun is my favorite kill too.
Yeah. Favorite characters and scenes.
Yep.
Honestly, Jamie and Rachel are equal for me. Or wait, no, Dr. Loomis is my favorite character. Yeah, but new characters, I would say Jamie and Rachel, and favorite scenes, basically any of the scenes between them. Both of them are such great actresses, and when you watch them, you really get the impression that they're both foster sisters, or hell, even actual sisters. Their chemistry is so great. I mean, I would argue that their chemistry was even better than Annie and Laurie from the first movie.
Sweet. Oh, I forgot to do my favorite scene. It's probably one that probably no one would talk about. It's a particular scene where Rachel's having this conversation with the the one of the officers, when they're all locking themselves up inside the house, and I think he's saying something in the line of, "You just gotta be patient." And, she's like, "And I'm trying," and the scene ends, and you see Michael like in the shadows in the background. It's one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
That's my favorite scene in the movie, probably purely for the atmosphere. Like, they're really going back to what worked about the original. So, any final thoughts on that?
No, I think that's it for me.
Nope.
Alrighty. Next, we got a comment from Top Debt. Get to this real quick. What's your opinion on the possibility that Michael Myers may be a crossover character in the next Mortal Kombat video game? I'd be down for that.
That'd be sick.
Because I think Freddy and Jason are already in the games, right?
Yeah, Freddy was in Mortal Kombat 9, and Jason was in Mortal Kombat X alongside Leatherface, Alien, and Predator. So.
Oh shit. So yep, I'd be down for that. I would so be down for that. I mean, because I like Mortal Kombat already, but hey, just another reason to buy the next game, right?
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, so before we get to the next one, before we get into our mixed aspects of the movie, I think we're all in agreement. This is a great movie, probably one of the best in the series.
Oh, I agree with that, but there's like three. I actually have one mixed thing and three negatives because, and it's not, and the negatives have nothing to do with the movie. It's just like overall.
Like retrospectively, like what other movies in the future ended up doing.
Pretty much.
Alrighty. So with that said, our mixed aspects.
As far as mixed aspects for me, there's like one, and that's the mask. Like, I don't mind the mask. It's not great. Let me start with that. It's not great. Like, the hair is slicked back. I thought that was not... It was just like, you could have had it be a little unkept, but... However, with the face being, like, pure white, and you can't see his eyelids, that's not the problem. It's just the way it looked. Like, the presentation of it just doesn't work for me, but... that's really not a huge deal, because it doesn't take me out of the film, but it's not a negative. So,
yep.
I mean, that's really all for me, at least when it comes to the mixed aspects.
And I think the mask is actually part of why I used to be, like, terrified of this movie when I first watched it. So,
honestly, I wouldn't have minded if, like, the entire film, like, instead of the mask, his face was... He just had the bandaged face.
oh yeah, like when they're in when he kills the car mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh, that actually would have been a very plausible look for him. I'm not gonna lie. It would have added to the idea of how they wanted to really do something new making this movie.
Yeah, something like that.
So is that it?
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Aiden. Anything you're mixed about with this movie?
Honestly, that's pretty much the same thing. The mask. Look, like I said, I don't really mind it as much as other people say they do. But again, at the same time, because the mask is so white, you don't see Michael's eyes, which makes him look even scarier. The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, like Dr. Loomis said in the first movie.
Indeed. Now, for me, I forgot to mention this in my positives, but because overall the ending is an overall positive for me, I guess I'll say that. But at the same time, it's a mixed aspect too, and I think y'all probably get where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Again, it's not to blame on this movie, but because other films didn't do anything with it, it doesn't make the ending superfluous or disposable. It's just the fact that you watch the ending now and you're like, it gets you all excited, like, oh fuck yeah, but then you remember, oh right, Halloween 5 fucked them over.
Yeah.
You agree, Austin?
Oh, I definitely agree, because that's... Oh, we'll get to that when we get to our negatives.
Because again, it's like I said, again, it's a mixed aspect for me purely for the fact that you watch the ending and what happens, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, but then you're like, oh right, Halloween 5 did nothing with this. So I'm just gonna say right now, Jamie should have been the killer. Should have been the killer going forward. At this point in the franchise, not knowing what they were going to be doing, just make her the killer. Even Danielle Harris said that's what she was hoping they were going to do.
They should have done that.
How can they? This is what I don't understand for the criticism. How can they make a 9-year-old girl a slasher killer?
Well, it's a matter of it's all part of the principle of the thing, because the whole point of the ending is that Michael died and he passed the evil onto her, and it's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah.
So just by concept, Jamie should have been the next thing going forward.
Just seems a little weird to have a 9.
If they had actually done that, in the best of ways, it would have made Halloween 4 a horror tragedy. Like, as far as your subgenres, you could call it a horror tragedy.
Yeah.
Given the corruption of a small child who you've grown to care about throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
What's up, Sean?
Deshaun?
Yep.
Hey, Deshaun.
Do you agree, Austin?
Oh, I agree with that.
Like, do you think that's plausible? Like, they could have called it a horror tragedy.
Oh, absolutely, because again, it's like when you think that the villain's finally been vanquished, it turns out, never mind, it's still there. So, it's like, no matter what happens, the circle will just keep going.
And keep Loomis on board, like, because Donald Pleasance was always open to coming back for more movies till the end of his days.
Pretty much.
So I guess that's pretty much the only thing I'm mixed about is the ending, because it's a positive on the one side. It's a great scene and a cool, powerful way to end the movie, but it's a mixed aspect for me for the reasons I just went into. And now we get into the negatives, if any.
Oh, I got quite a few, and it has nothing to do with this film. Well, actually, one of them does. First of all, the ending, because, like you said, Halloween 5 does nothing with this, so it's like, what the fuck was the point? If you want to keep Michael alive, at the end, keep Michael alive. You did it in Halloween 1, you can do it here.
Yep.
It's literally that simple. Also, speaking of that, there's 2 other sequels to this film that killed my enjoyment of this movie. Because following Halloween 4, you get Halloween 5, which that sucked as a continuation. And then you had The Curse of Michael Myers, which sucked even worse. And I'm like, it's like, those 2 sequels kind of bring down this film, because this is what's considered a trilogy. 4, 5, and 6 are considered as the Thorn trilogy, or the Jamie trilogy, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, trilogy.
You could call it the sequel trilogy of horror movies. Because just like Star Wars, they didn't have a plan going into this. Makes it even worse with this, because they didn't even know that they were going to do a trilogy.
Exactly. And it's like, not only that, but it made no fucking sense. And also, third problem, it ain't even fucking canon anymore.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I guess so we'll just make this little comment. Spoiler alert for my thoughts on Halloween 5, but comparing 5 and 6, I actually think 5 is worse. I'll just put that out there.
I disagree on that one, but we'll get
And
into
Halloween
that when we
6.
get into our Halloween 6 review. But because it's not canon anymore, you don't have to watch this movie in order to understand anything. You can literally just watch the first Halloween movie and then you wouldn't miss anything because that's the only movie that they have not changed yet.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's kind of like because that's kind of my problem with like Halloween 2 as well. It's like it's not canon anymore, so why should I care? Why should I care about any of these characters when you know the timeline's gonna keep fucking changing if a movie stinks?
Yep. Fingers crossed for Halloween Kills then, hoping that it doesn't stink and they reboot the whole thing again.
Yep.
But it's like it's just an example of like they had no idea what the fuck to do. It's because they keep fucking putting themselves into a corner, and then they're like, oh shit, we gotta do another movie. Oh fuck, what do we do? Oh, let's just bring Michael back. Because Halloween 3, you know, people fucking hated that. They're like, all right, let's bring Michael back, which made sense because again, you gotta look at it from a realistic standpoint. Fans wanted to see Michael back, studios wanted money. So of course they're gonna bring Michael back. And they're like, oh shit, we made a shit ton of money on Halloween 4. Oh, let's bring Michael back again for Halloween 5. And did it even do well in the box office? At least
Halloween
I hope
4?
5.
5 bombed, but 4 was the highest grossing installment of the series at that point in time.
So it's like I don't understand. It's like it's like every Halloween movie they keep putting themselves into a corner. Halloween 5 they did so. Halloween 6 they put themselves in a corner, which I can't really blame them on that because again Donald Pleasance died, so it's like they couldn't really do much, so I can't really blame them on that. H2O ended the series technically, but then guess what? Never mind, they put themselves into another corner again. So it's like that's kind of my fear with Halloween Kills and even with Halloween Ends is that these films, because the problem is you get one good Halloween movie and then the next movie ends up being a complete shit show. So you kind of have to look at the Halloween like kind of train of events. It's like first movie good, then the following sequel sucks, and then it's like that's my biggest fear in particular, and that's what really kills Halloween 4 for me is that its sequels suck so hard that it's not even canon in the timeline anymore. So why does this movie matter? Does it even matter? No. The ending doesn't matter because guess what? They basically retcon that the following movie.
Rise of Skywalker it.
It's like this entire movie does not matter because everything gets fucking retconned. So it's like you could even skip this movie and watch Halloween 5 and you wouldn't miss anything.
Oh.
So and it kind of sucks too because this is a great movie. But if you want to watch like Halloween Kills or fuck any of the other installments, you could skip it. And that's what sucks because you want each movie to feel like they matter. This movie does not matter in the grand scheme of things. And that sucks. Because Halloween 2, that doesn't matter anymore because it's not even canon. Halloween 4 don't matter. Halloween 5 doesn't matter. Curse Michael Myers doesn't matter. H2O don't matter. Resurrection doesn't matter. Because there's no timeline and they have no clue what to do. So, those are my negatives.
Anything, Aiden?
Can't really think of anything. I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but I don't really have any problems with it.
That's kind of me too. Like, there's nothing that happens in this movie that I specifically hold against it where I don't like it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I see this movie as pure perfection. It's just some movies are like that. It's not. You don't think it's this perfect masterpiece, but at the same time, you don't have any problems with it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, before we get into our final thoughts, is there anything you guys want to put on the table?
No, I think I said it. I think I said everything I had to say.
Same here.
All right, then. So our final thoughts on Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Well, I think I said them when I did my negatives, but I guess I can kind of maybe shorten it. Halloween 4, I still think, even though I still kind of believe what I said is that it is a pointless sequel looking back, it is still a great movie. It's not, like you said, it's not perfect, but again, I love the characters. The kills are great, and I will say, the music is great, the atmosphere is awesome, like, there's a lot of great things, but I will also continue to say what I said. Does this movie really matter? Not really. And like I said, it sucks, because I like this movie, so... Does this ruin my enjoyment of the film? No. But it's kind of one of those things where they keep putting themselves into a fucking corner, and it's sad, because you can tell with this one they tried, but
there was an actual passion behind it.
Exactly, and then you see the following movies, and you're like, what?
They were put out there just because we need dollars.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts. I thought the movie was great, even though it doesn't really matter.
Yep. Aiden?
I think it's arguably the best sequel in the series. I think the relationship, the chemistry between the two main characters was better than the one in the first film, like Laurie and Annie and Linda, between compared to Rachel and Jamie. I thought that was great. I don't have any real negatives with it, but at the same time, it's not perfect.
Exactly.
And I think it's almost, not saying it is, but it's almost on par with the original.
Indeed. So for me, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers it's not my favorite sequel of the series. But with that being said, for me, it is still one of the best of the series. Terrific characters, terrific performances, and just the best sense of atmosphere that maybe the franchise has ever had. If I have to be honest, this movie oozes the Halloween atmosphere every single second. I mean, not the franchise, but just it oozes the atmosphere of the holiday its whole runtime.
Sweet.
Again, with an ending that for me is both a pro and kind of a con, it still doesn't ruin the movie for me because, yep, all around Halloween 4, a terrific movie, great performances, just while not flawless, it doesn't commit any sins specifically that I hold against it. So, with that being said, my final score for Halloween 4 is it's an A minus for me and an 8.5 out of 10.
I think we're thinking alike today, Zach. I'm also gonna give it an A minus. I think, again, great movie, but it contrasts to the next movie we're gonna be talking about, because let me tell you, oh boy, that's gonna be.
We're getting into the stinkers, ladies and gentlemen. Every franchise has them, sadly.
This franchise has too many of them, but it happens to the best of them, I guess.
Yep. Aiden, and your final grade?
I'd give it like a B or B plus.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet. Alrighty, so I guess that wraps up our review of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Any final things you guys want to say before we kind of wrap it up?
No, last thing I guess I could say is, God, I don't want to talk about Halloween 5 and Halloween 6, but I will try my best to keep my cool.
And I can't wait to hear you trash
talk. Austin, just going to say, on my channel, feel free to vent as much as you want. Because trust me, especially with Halloween 5, I sympathize.
Oh god, it's not. No.
All kinds of rants are allowed on my channel as long as they're within reason. It's the beauty of opinions. They can vary so long as there's still that amount of respect put there.
Yeah.
So I guess that's gonna wrap it up today.
Oh, there goes Dustin.
Oh, he might pop up in a second. Both. With that being said, Aiden.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. All right. So I guess that's gonna do it for us today. Now to do our plugging. Austin, where can they find you, my friend?
Well, later on tonight, you can find me on Randomness at its Finest on JJ, aka Sith Lord 3827's channel. Follow the Chaos Central Twitter. Like I said, we get a bunch of stuff over there. You can find, well, actually earlier tonight, you can find me. You could have found me on Chris Knight's channel, the Real Review 3000, for the weekly wrap up, and you can also find me sometimes later on during the week on the Rumble. You can find me on Chaos Central twice on Sunday for both the Loki Roundtable, which I thought this episode was a stinker, and we had this episode of the Bad Batch, which I'm also on the Bad Batch Roundtable, which I thought the Bad Batch episode was amazing.
So I've heard. I haven't seen Loki yet, by the way, but I'm probably gonna put it on after we're done here.
Gotcha. And I have my own channel, 30 subs away from 200.
Let's get them there, people.
You can also find me on Zach's channel, usually either on Sundays or Mondays for the Halloween reviews. Then Geeks Enjoy Nerdrotica for Nerdgasm on Saturdays. Basically just everywhere. Twitter at the Alternator17. Again, subscribe to Chaos Central. Follow Chaos Central on Twitter. Thanks for having me on, Zach.
Anytime. So I guess. Oh, sorry, Aiden. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
Sweet. And obviously, y'all can find me here. Mostly, I guess my channel this year, at least until October, will be mostly revolved around this Halloween review series we're doing. And with that being said, that's going to do it for us today. We will see y'all next week for our more than likely dreaded review of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. A drop in quality, to say the slightest, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
We're getting into the stinkers, people.
Yep.
God help us. And for the record, I have not seen Halloween 5 in years. Probably not since 2018, when I was hyping up for the release of that movie. Probably the same for all of us.
Who could blame you?
Yep. It's not exactly the one Halloween movie I would pop on if I'm in the mood to watch one of these movies. So, with that being said, we will see y'all next week for that. And then we'll see y'all next time. Take care.
Peace.